Alex, not much has changed in the last 24 hours as we continue to hone in on the Caribbean for development. The only change is, we were thinking that we could see development late this week over the upcoming weekend. We've kind of pushed that back a little bit here, a day or two, and it's the concern is mostly next week.
Yeah, it has been. Things sometimes develop a little bit slower in the Caribbean, and so it's going to take this a little bit of time, I think, to develop. We still think it's going to develop as we head into November here, but yes, we did push the dates back on it a little bit, calling for it now November 2nd through the 5th there in the Central Caribbean, and then the area to the northeast of Hispaniola there, that yellow area there, I really don't think that's going to develop. There's a lot of wind shear out there, but even if it does, that should not be a threat to the United States.
All right, already this morning, we have a frontal boundary stalled across the southern Gulf of Mexico. This is the pattern that we saw last week. Already showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop here. And as we go through the ingredients, Alex, let's start with this. I mean, water temperatures typically aren't a concern in this area this time of the year. They never are, but they're even a little warmer than normal, those water temperatures.
Yeah, normal in the Caribbean this time of the year would be in the low 80s for water temperatures. We're seeing temperatures in the middle 80s, so plenty of juice, plenty of energy. This is the warmest part of the basin right there where we're expecting development.
But the wind shear, that is going to be the ingredient that is, let's say, missing as we head toward the rest of this week. It's not low wind shear, it's high wind shear.
Yeah, and that's why we think nothing's going to really develop here for the next couple of days. You can see that dark purple across pretty much the entirety of the Atlantic Basin, but we are going to see a change. That wind shear is going to lift to the north, but you can see those hostile winds. You can see, look how fast those clouds are moving across your screen there. This is the water vapor. It also gives you an idea about the wind shear as well. So it's a very hostile environment. We don't expect anything to develop for the next several days, but you also notice here in the Caribbean, you don't see a whole lot of orange or red areas. That would indicate dry air. So there's not a whole lot of dry air. So it's really just the wind shear right now that's holding things back.
And this is why we're so confident. Once we lose this wind shear, and we think we will lose the wind shear next week, that's when things really start to organize. Yeah,
most of that wind shear will shift to the north of the Caribbean here, and so it's going to basically create a pocket. You're going to have that warm ocean temperatures, you're going to have plenty of moisture, and you're going to have very low wind shear.
All right, we talked about this yesterday. All week we've been talking about scenarios. The one change we made, Alex, and you and I talked about this yesterday, once we pushed back the development time from late this week to next week, that means there's no window for this area of development to get into the Southwest Atlantic.
Yeah, it looks like a big area of high pressure will develop to the north. It will push this to the west, we think. And so then the question becomes, is it strong enough to just push it into Central America, or is there a path that can turn it into the Eastern Gulf?
And when you look at history of where these storms go in this basin during the month of November, this is where they can go, either west or towards South Florida. So we're going to continue to tell South Floridians, keep an eye on this as we get into probably the latter half of next week.